Episode 7 of Picard Season 3, titled Dominion, I think was a real good show, and it gave us a lot of information about Vadic and the reasons behind why she's doing what she's doing. But it did leave me with more questions than it did answers. Okay, so we all know now that Vadic and 9 of her changeling brothers and sisters, at the beginnings of the Dominion War, were taken prisoner and as prisoners of war taken to Daystrom Station, where they were put under so much torture and pain that they had never experienced before in their lives. Eventually, Vadic found a way to break free and kill off the scientist who was torturing her and the other changelings. She then freed them, but before letting them go, she offered them the opportunity to seek vengeance on their captors. She had the ability now to mimic anyone she wanted, blood all the way down to their organs, and she also had the ability to pass it on to any other changeling that she linked with. So she proposed the idea to them to seek vengeance, which they all agreed to, considering the torture and the horrific things that they have been through. As I said, 9 changelings agreed to help Vadic in her quest for vengeance against the Federation. But if you've been keeping count on all the changelings they've encountered since the season began, you will see that they have killed off a number of them. We have the drug-addicted changeling that W.F.S and Rafi killed off.
He's a changeling.
Don't let it get away!
We have the changeling on the Titan.
Commander what, Forge? Commander Hansen.
And of course, the epic whipping that Jack gave 4 changelings on the Titan. Unless I've missed my count, we have a total of 6 changelings that have been killed off. Now, we can't count Vadic in that count because she's been too busy hunting the Titan, looking for Jack. So we have 9 other changelings out there with this morphogenic ability to blindly go by and avoid detection from the standard blood tests and blood screenings. So that would mean there were only 3 changelings left to try and control all of Starfleet in those 72 hours since all this began, if I'm not mistaken here. Now, there has to be more changelings involved because, from what I understand, Vadic's crew are changelings. And what about Commander Rowe? Before the changelings killed her off, she warned Picard that at least on 12 other Federation vessels there had been reports of changeling activity. So all this confesses to me that it's not just the genetically mutated changelings that are at work here, it's the regular changelings. But that brings about another question. If it is true that Vadic went to other changelings outside of the ones that were tortured, why didn't they get the Jem'Hadar involved in all this? Because, as well as all of us know, when the Jem'Hadar find out that their gods were being tortured by the Federation, all hell would have broken loose. They would have stopped at nothing. No one would have stood in their way. Unless, of course, they realized that the Vorta screwed everything up for them so much in the last war they didn't want to risk it again. There's also the possibility that Fleet Day could be the perfect time, since all of the Federation's starships, or the Starfleet's ships, are going to be in one place at one time. It could be the perfect place for the Jem'Hadar to come along and wipe them out. Now on to our mysterious figure here. There have been a lot of speculation as to who he is and what his significance is in this story. And one of the rumors that I like is that he is Locutus. He's Locutus of Borg. One of the theories out there is that when the Enterprise rescued Picard from Locutus and from the Borg, a piece of Locutus was left behind, which is where Picard's Aramonic syndrome comes into play here. When they reactivated Data on the Titan, or the Data lore android on Titan, Data reported that the original diagnosis for Picard's Aramonic syndrome is now in question. So when the changeling stole Picard's body, and it had the syndrome in it, could that have been Locutus, a part of him beginning to re-emerge? So when they took him from the Enterprise, or rather, when they rescued him from the cube, Picard, when they rescued him, could a piece of Locutus been left behind that was slowly over the years working its way out? And then eventually, when Picard's body became overwhelmed by it and it killed off Picard, could the remaining parts of Locutus slowly started to re-emerge? When Data shows an image of Picard's body, we get an image of what looks to be Locutus. If that is true, then that means that part of Locutus was transferred over to Jack when Beverly became pregnant. Now, when you consider that this being has the ability to inflict pain on Vadic from great distances, and Jack has the ability to read minds and just go crazy with super strength, it just makes sense to me that somehow Locutus and whatever was left behind from Locutus in Picard's body was transferred over to Jack. Now, it's just a theory, but I think it's a pretty good one myself. Well, whether these theories are right or whether my questions are good ones, I still think we've got 3 episodes left that are going to explain a lot, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun finding out. And until the next time, my friends, I really want to hear your thoughts, your comments, and hopefully we're going to get some more answers tomorrow, because that's when episode 8 comes out. Until the next time, my friends, God bless, and I will talk to you soon.